folks, and welcome back to another video. We begin this journey on March 1st, 2023, and I am located next to CSX's Columbus subdivision at the Route 161 railroad crossing in Worthington, Ohio. On this day, I was out taking pictures for my photography class in college, and while I was doing so, I received a text message from a friend that a southbound ethanol train was making its way towards Columbus with a trio of Norfolk Southern locomotives on point. Considering that I've been struggling for the past couple of weeks to catch good trains in the area for reasons that I couldn't control, I was willing to take whatever was in the area and just left it at that. After waiting for almost an hour, some headlights approached from the north, which belonged to our ethanol train, which in this case was B831. An as-needed loaded ethanol train that comes off the Canadian Pacific Railway in Bensenville, Illinois, and goes all the way down to Tampa, Florida. The Norfolk Southern -9 in the lead of the ethanol train was the star of the show for most of the rail fans that went after this train, as it was equipped with a Nathan P5 air horn.
Somebody that should know,
After catching Norfolk Southern on CSX, I then moved to pure Norfolk Southern territory about a week and a half later on March 11th, 2023, and I am located alongside the Sandusky District at the Park Road Railroad Crossing in Worthington, Ohio. Earlier that morning, I was watching the virtual railfan camera up in Fostoria, Ohio, and noticed that Norfolk Southern 28N had a pair of Union Pacific locomotives trailing behind a Norfolk Southern locomotive. And one of those Union Pacific locomotives was an SD70M. Even though I wouldn't end up catching 28N this time around, I did not leave empty-handed. The first train I caught on this cold afternoon was a Norfolk Southern southbound mixed freight train going down the Sandusky District. I did not get the symbol for it, but I have reason to believe it's either 18W or 179. As it would turn out, this mixed freight train was equipped with foreign power, with 3 Union Pacific locomotives assigned to take it. 2 up front, 1 in the middle. after the Union Pacific-led train disappeared off in the distance, the Norfolk Southern automatic signals lit up for a northbound train, which in this case was an empty ethanol train. The Sandusky District had one more train to send through before I had to call it for the day, which was a northbound empty grain train with 2 more horses on the point. After catching those 3 Norfolk Southern trains, we then moved several days later onto
March 14th,
2023, and I am located alongside CSX's Scotts Lawn Secondary at the Leap Road Railroad Crossing in Hilliard, Ohio. Earlier that afternoon, as I was going over the bridge that crossed Buckeye Yard, I noticed CSX I-147 as he was beginning to build his train with a CSX-9 on the point. However, the criteria of catching this train was a bit different than all the others. I was here with the intentions on getting some pictures that I could potentially use in my photography class in college. Since I was mainly here to get pictures, which unfortunately didn't work out in my favor, my mom was the one who took this video of I-147. And as you're seeing, she did a really good job. After catching that Dash 9 on the Scottslong Secondary, I then moved about a week later onto March 20th, 2023, and I am located outside the Central Ohio Model Railroad Club in Worthington, Ohio. On this day, I was here for the weekly operating session, but also with hopes of catching Canadian Pacific 7016. Even though I wasn't able to catch the Canadian Pacific Heritage Unit, I was able to see a couple trains while I was here during the operating session. After running my train for nearly a half hour and tying it down at the chemical plant on the layout, I then went outside and ended up catching a northbound Norfolk Southern loaded coal train going up the Sandusky District. Led by a brand spanking new AC44C6M, another northbound shows up on the Sandusky District, which came in the form of an intermodal train, which I have reason to believe is 29C, but I'm not 100% sure. After catching those two Norfolk Southern trains passing the club, I then moved several days later onto March 25th, 2023, and I am located at the Powell Road Overpass in Powell, Ohio, once again next to Norfolk Southern's Sandusky District. On this day, I was watching the Virtual Railfan webcam up in Fostoria and noticed Norfolk Southern Intermodal Train 28N having a mixture of power from Norfolk Southern, CSX, and Canadian Pacific. As you can probably tell up to this point, 28N is one of my go-to trains whenever it has anything good on it, but that's besides the point. Since the Surface Transportation Board approved the merger between Canadian Pacific and Kansas City Southern a week prior to this, the clock is really ticking now as of catching both companies as separate entities of each other before the merger is set to be completed on April 14th. After waiting for about 25 minutes, 28N slowly made his way past the signal here at Powell on another daily run between Chicago, Illinois and Charlotte, North Carolina, running at medium speed because he was about to utilize the crossovers behind me. I would also like to apologize for the shoddy camera work, as it was very, very windy on this day, and I was also taking pictures simultaneously as I was taking this video, so that meant I couldn't hold down my tripod and take pictures at the same time. After catching 28N once again, I then moved to the next day on March 26, 2023, and I am located at the Cook Road Railroad crossing next to Norfolk Southern Sandusky District and CSX's Burt line. On this day, I received a text message from a friend that Norfolk Southern 1066, the New York Central Heritage Unit, was on a northbound intermodal train leaving Rickenbacker Yard down in Lockbourne. Since I've caught all of Norfolk Southern's Heritage Units, at this point, it would only make sense to catch the Heritage Units if they're leading the train or if there's something else special with them. And the New York Central Heritage Unit is the only exception I can make to this rule because it's my personal favorite out of the bunch. As it would turn out, I wasn't the only one that was out for this train because several other rail fans were also at this location with the same goal in mind. After waiting for about 15 to 20 minutes, a northbound train approached on the Sandusky District, which just so happened to be the one the New York Central Heritage Unit was on, which was NS-273, a daily Norfolk, Virginia to Sandusky, Ohio intermodal train. the show wasn't over just yet, as the automatic signals also indicated there was a southbound train in the area too. After 10 minutes of waiting, the identity was revealed to be a southbound empty coal train, with 4 GEs assigned to take it, with a Union Pacific GE leading the charge. After catching those 2 Norfolk Southern trains, I decided to call it and head home, which now concludes yet another video. When it was all said and done with, I was able to get a decent amount of trains, although the overwhelming majority of those trains were provided by Norfolk Southern. If you enjoyed this video, consider checking out some other ones of mine. Leave a like or a comment down below to share your thoughts, subscribe if you're new, and tap the notifications bell to be notified when a new video gets posted here on the channel. Till next time, this is All Ohio Rail Fan, signing off.